story right now is inflation. Economists like Warren Hogan calling it embedded, driven by government spending and capacity constraints. Also, the former RBA Governor Philip Lowe joining the chorus, warning weak productivity and loose fiscal settings will keep rates higher. Yet buyers and sellers, well, they're still moving, even as this rate environment remains highly contentious. G'day folks, it is Matt Hayson here, looking at everything impacting Sydney's property market for this week. And before we get into it, what we're seeing around the grounds and across our auctions and campaigns, I do believe it's important that we frame up this economic backdrop properly, because that's what's really causing all the noise, shaping sentiment and influencing the rate environment we're currently operating in. Now, the first cab off the rank is the minutes from the RBA board meeting in February. Now, they stopped short of saying inflation is entrenched, but they definitely skirt around the idea that it could be more embedded than previously thought. Now, the board has flagged concern that inflation may remain above target for longer without some level of policy response. So the next phase now is data driven around wages and jobs. Now, if wage growth holds firm and unemployment stays tight, the RBA will remain very cautious. However, if those numbers soften, the language will also soften. But economist Warren Hogan is far more direct with his assessment this week. His argument is blunt. Australia is running with very little spare capacity. Labour shortages are real and government spending has expanded materially. He points towards the federal recurrent spending rising from a long-term average of around 7.5% of GDP to now above 11%. His line that's cutting through is that inflation is becoming a silent tax across the economy. His warning is that when you stimulate demand through spending while supply remains constrained, inflation embeds and rates have to stay higher for longer. Then joining the chorus this week is former RBA Governor Philip Lowe, and he's doubled down on the same structural theme. His message was very simple. If productivity isn't growing, you can't keep injecting spending and handouts into the system because demand rises while supply stays weak. And when that happens, interest rates have to do the heavy lifting. He went as far as saying that without productivity reform, we risk condemning ourselves to higher rates, weak wage growth, and a stagnant living standards. Doesn't sound good, does it? Now, interestingly, all of our most notable forecasters also threw their hat into the ring this week on the future of the cash rate for the country. And you guessed it, opinions are divided. Some of the top-ranked economists believe that February's hike may be close to one and done, arguing inflation is still trending lower overall and tightening financial conditions are already doing the work. We'll have to wait to see. Others, they see that there is a chance of one more move if labour and inflation prints stay firm. So the forecast environment right now isn't aligned, it's absolutely split. But on the ground, we're seeing people still getting on with life. Buying, selling, moving. Auction volumes last week were over 1,000 for the week, with the clearance rate sitting at 50.47% on the SQM tracking data. It's not great, but in fairness, it's what's been happening over the last 12 months. Now, across the market though, buyers are engaging. Open home numbers, they remain solid, and when properties are priced well against their competitive set, they are moving, and in many cases moving quite quickly. But value, it still must be identified because price sensitivity remains very real, and that's been the defining feature of the market for the last 12 months. So overall, we're seeing almost zero change in market conditions following the rate increase. The market, well, in our view, it's absorbed it so far. But we're now into that 6-week run into Easter. Listings are building daily, supply is rising, and that naturally creates more choice and more opportunity for buyers. So our view remains very simple. Move when there's value on display, be patient when a property doesn't align, and keep an eye very closely on this growing supply in the market because opportunities are emerging each and every day. So that's a wrap for what's going on down in the market this week. I'm loving what we've got open for inspection this weekend and look forward to catching you all next week.